Toby Keith sits among Dolly Parton, George Strait, Garth Brooks, Shania Twain as some of the wealthiest in country music. In 2021, Forbes called him the $500 million man. He died on February 5th, 2024 at 62 years old. So what does this mean for his family when it comes to his will? For better or worse, we've been front row to watch Keith's family mourn his loss, like at this year's CMT Awards. Here's the reaction on camera, and again at the ACM Awards. Grief is a complex variation of emotions where oftentimes it's done alone. Even harder when millions of people are watching your reactions on social media and television. Much of the country star's life has been public. He knew that. And the details regarding his will confirmed how much his family meant to him and their safety. You might be nosy like I was and wondering, where did all this money come from? Was it just music or other ventures? Well, Keith's financial interests extended well beyond his extensive catalog of hits and concerts. His vast holdings included a chain of restaurants, his Wild Shot Mezcal brand, his own record label, a stake in Big Machine Records, a horse farm, a golf course, a line of cannabis, and y'all, so much more. We recently learned that the singer drafted a will for a reportedly $400 million months after the news of his stomach cancer diagnosis broke. In Touch was the first to share the court documents that shows Keith's wife, Tricia Covel, filed 15 days after his death on February 5th, asking to be named the administrator of his estate. His wife asked the court to seal the contents of the will for security reasons. Her filing reveals that Keith went to some pretty extreme lengths to protect his family due to his success and staggering wealth. Here are some of those lengths. Quote, having his home address and deed to his homestead sealed from the public record by court order, using an alias name for himself, his wife, and children, and engaging a personal security company to provide security for himself and that of his family members at all times of the day and night, week, and year. Hit the thumbs up button if that means a lot to you to see the way that Toby cared for his family when he was alive and even after his death. Her filing reveals that Keith's will names her and the couple's 3 adult children, Rochelle Lasan Covel, Crystal LaDawn Sandebray, and Stellan Keith Covel, as Keith heirs. Quote, the consents signed by each heir, together with a list of the LLC interests, contain confidential information regarding not only the heirs, but also the business interests of Toby at the time of his death. That was from Covel's attorneys. This information, if known by the public, would likely increase the threat to the safety and security of the personal representative and the heirs. Alrighty, to put in simple terms here, Toby Keith is worth a lot of money. If anyone learned of the exact worth, assets, etc., someone potentially with not great intentions might want to harm the family or do something bad. A judge has granted Covel's request to keep the will sealed, and the probate case is still underway. We've covered Toby Keith's death in the news that has followed pretty closely, so I do highly encourage you to subscribe to this channel so as more information comes in, you're the first to know. Keith revealed that he had been diagnosed with stomach cancer in June of 2022, and he bravely fought the illness, returning to the spotlight to receive the Icon Award at the first ever People's Choice Country Awards in September of 2020.
Most of all, I want to thank the fans for still allowing us to do what we do. So, God bless y'all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
It would have been Toby's 63rd birthday on July 8th. Both his daughter Crystal and son Stellan took to social media to remember their father. Right before his death, we had the opportunity to talk to the music legend. I want to bring back that interview because it was so deeply personal and a sweet remembrance of the singer. Comment below your favorite Toby Keith song, and y'all, we want his entire family to know that from our Taste of Country family, he is well loved and his family are in our thoughts and prayers. So while you're there, if you want to comment any encouragement, love, thoughts, well wishes, feel free to add those there in the comment section as well. Alrighty, here comes the interview from Toby Keith, and I'll put the full thing and the link in the description. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. Addison Hager.
People ask me all the time, what's the question I get the most? What's your favorite song you've ever recorded or wrote? They were all like children because I know where I was. They all had their own special place. They were all conceived between these 2 ears. and this melon, and they were they're all special to me. You know, you think about the big monster songs at 5 or 6 week #1. Yeah, they were big, but when I wrote them, I worked just as hard on another #1, like "Wish I Didn't Know Now." You know, some of those songs, "Shouldn't Kiss Me Like This," "Is That Blue Moon?" "Who's That Man?" You know, those were songs that were #1. They weren't 5 and 6 week #1s. You still hear them on the radio, but I know where I was, why they were conceived, and I know how hard I worked on them. So it's really hard to define all that. It's just a great big body of work that I was really blessed by the Almighty to be able to have those skills.
Hey man, real quick, I'm sorry I lied. One more thing, man. When you see me as someone that doesn't get scared by much. When you were diagnosed with cancer, did you get scared?
I did, but that's a bridge that you've never crossed before. Cancer's an island in the middle of the ocean, and everybody rides around. They know it's over there, but they go to other islands. They stay away from there. Other people go to those islands. We don't go over there. And when you finally crash on that island, there's a lot of boats over there, and then you find out that half the world is afflicted with active cancer, and you go, holy cow, they've been working on this for centuries, and they haven't got this puzzle put together yet. And I just lost an acquaintance. We were playing golf in September of 21 up at the lake house, and my buddy had his college buddy in, and we're all playing golf, having a beer. My buddy goes, "This guy never sleeps." And I didn't know him. I didn't know if he'd lost weight or had any. It's the first time I ever met him. Played golf 3 days with the guy. He had to go play in a cash tournament at Vegas. When he left there, got back to Oklahoma City, and about 2 weeks later, Lance called me and said, "Hey, remember that guy you met up the lake?" He goes, he's got like 2 weeks to live. He finally went in and got a checkup. He'd up with cancer and sent him home. Lance went and seen him, and he died like 10 days later. So a month later, I get diagnosed. And a month after that, my son's fiance doesn't have a father, and she asked him if I'd walk her down the aisle at my son's wedding. And I'm going, well, if I'm like the last guy, I ain't gonna make it. So hell yeah, I got scared, but I ain't afraid anymore.
Hell yeah! So now you're back to not being scared of nothing.
No,
John Wayne,
this son of a bitch.